Alrighty, so you're looking to attract opportunities on LinkedIn, you're looking to network with other professionals in your industry, or you may have heard how great LinkedIn is for professionals and you now want to create or update your LinkedIn profile. So if any of that sounds like you are definitely at the right place. My name is Lisa Apia. I'm a certified career and resume strategist and the founder of We Apply. I have helped hundreds of professionals build their personal brand on LinkedIn, helping them get promoted and hired using the platform. I not only coach and create LinkedIn profiles for professionals, I also facilitate LinkedIn workshops for organizations, and I use LinkedIn myself. In the last 18 months, I've been able to grow my following from 400 followers to 35,000 followers. I have had over 12 million post views. I've been featured in LinkedIn News 8 times. And in addition to that, I've landed over 60 speaking engagements using LinkedIn. So I'm ready to get started. So let's get right into it. In this video, I am teaching you the 6 elements for a successful LinkedIn profile. The first part of your profile is your headline. Your headline goes right below your name. I would say it's one of the most important parts of your profile because it enables you to be found by other people. When you have the appropriate keywords in your headline that relate to your employment target or your industry, it allows people to find you on the platform. And so if you think of LinkedIn as a search engine, if you're searching for something on Google, you will type in the words for the thing you're looking for. Maybe it's red dress. Let's say you're looking for a red dress. That's what you're going to type in Google. In the same way, if someone is looking for a business analyst on LinkedIn, or they're looking for a human resource manager, those are the keywords that they're going to type in to find people with that skill set. So that's why you want to avoid putting things like unemployed in your headline or seeking opportunities, because people are less likely to use those keywords when they're conducting searches. So recruiters or hiring managers or other professionals in your industry, just think of it from their perspective. What keywords or what words would they use to find someone who has my skill set? And those are the type of words you want to ensure that are found in your LinkedIn headline. There are different ways that you can present your headline. I'm giving you 2 examples here that can help you start off and inspire you to create your own LinkedIn headline. The second part of your LinkedIn profile that is quite important is your picture. You want to ensure that you have a picture that is clear, professional, that people can see your face, a picture that you're smiling, ideally, something that shows that you are approachable. It doesn't need to be professionally done, but it does need to look professional. So something that we can see your shoulders, your face, and that give people a good idea of who you are and what you look like. The third part of your LinkedIn profile that is super important is your About section. This is basically the whole focus or the meat of your profile. It's where people will go to learn more about you and who you are and what you have to offer. Always, when you're creating your About section, you want to keep your audience in mind. Who is coming to my profile and what do I want them to know about me? So what you will put in your About section depends on your ultimate goal or your employment target. So if you're job searching or seeking a promotion, it may be different what you're going to put in there compared to someone maybe who's just looking to network. But there are certain things that you can include in your About section that can include your career story, that can also include quantifiable achievements that speak to the magnitude and the impact that you've had in the various organizations that you've worked with. What you have to remember regarding your About section is that when you actually look at your profile, only the 2 or 3 first lines of the About section actually show up when someone comes on your profile. They need to click Read More to be able to see more of your profile. So you want to make sure that those 2 or 3 first lines are very engaging, that they'll get the person's attention so that they'll want to actually read more to know more about what's in your profile and what you have to offer. And a great way to round up your about section once you've talked about your achievements, you've talked about your career story, is to now add a call to action. What do you want them to do now that they've come to your profile, they've read about you? Do you want them to send you a message on LinkedIn? Do you want them to connect with you? Do you want them to follow you? Do you want them to send you an email? Whatever you want them to do as a next step, you can include as a call to action at the end of your about section. The next thing is your experience and your education. So, really important, your LinkedIn profile is not your resume. I will say that again. Your LinkedIn profile is not your resume. So, you do not copy and paste your resume into your LinkedIn profile. That's a faux pas. We just do not do that, okay? So what you do instead is that you want to make it personable. You want people to be able to understand the experience that you have, the things that you've achieved in your career. And so the way to do that is firstly by writing in the first person. It is okay to write in the first person on your LinkedIn profile, although you do not do that on your resume. On your resume, the first person is implied, but on your LinkedIn profile, it's okay for you to write in the first person. And basically, in your experience, you want to talk about the key achievements that you have that are relevant to your goal. Really, you're thinking again about your audience. Let's say a hiring manager or a recruiter is coming to your LinkedIn profile. They're thinking of it from the perspective of what's in it for them. Why are they coming to your profile? Are you the person that's going to be able to address the organizational need that they have right now? They have a gap in their organization. That's why they're looking to hire someone. That's why they're looking to bring in someone with a certain expertise. Are you that person who can fill that gap or who can address that need? And you need to be able to answer that in your profile. And so talking about your experience, you don't need to detail your whole work experience. You know, if you've worked several years, you don't need to detail your whole work experience. Stick to what's relevant. The last 10 to 15 years is usually more than enough. And to keep in mind is that even though LinkedIn is a professional platform, it's still social media. So you want to ensure that you are able to capture your readers' attention. So if you have any images, if you have any videos, any presentations, anything that shows you doing what you do as a professional. If you have an image of you speaking in front of a crowd or you in a lab, whatever is a reflection of what you do at work, those would be awesome additions to your LinkedIn profile, and you can put those in your experience section. With respect to your education, you want to make sure that you're including your education, and also you don't necessarily have to include your dates. So that's really up to you if you want to include the date of completion, but it's not a requirement for you to complete your LinkedIn profile. The next section is the skills and endorsements. So when you are creating your previous section we just talked about, so your experience and your education, one of the things that you're going to see there that's going to show up is skills. And within each role that you add in, you're able to add certain skills that relate to that role. And you will notice that when you add that information in the various experiences, it also shows up at the bottom of your profile in another section called skills and endorsements. So the skills and endorsements section is basically a compilation of the skills that have been reflected on your profile, and you can add up to 50 skills there. And you want to make sure that again, it's reflecting the keywords that are the most relevant to your industry and your employment target. So where can you find these keywords? Use job posters. Look for job posters that align with your employment target. And within those job posters, you'll find that there are certain keywords that are being used that can help you to complete your skills section on your LinkedIn profile. In addition to that, you can go to the profiles of other professionals in your industry that can also help you in terms of inspiration to know which skills you should include in your profile. And when it comes to the endorsements section, that's basically people saying that, yes, you do have the skills that you've stated you have. And right next to the skills, a number will show up, and that number is basically how many people have endorsed you and said that you do have the skills that you've spoken about on your profile. Another thing to remember is that when someone is scrolling through your profile, only the 3 top skills show up. So it's really important that you organize and order the skills accordingly so that the 3 most important ones, the ones that speak most to your goal and your target, are the ones that show up at the top of your profile, so that when a person sees your profile, they'll see the top 3, and then if they wanted to see more, they would then click see more to be able to see the other 47 that you've added to your profile. By the way, if you aren't following me on LinkedIn yet, here is my QR code so that you can connect with me on LinkedIn. The last but very important part of 6 elements to create a successful LinkedIn profile is your recommendations. So throughout your profile, you've said how awesome you are. You've spoken about your achievements, your accomplishments. You've also provided information on your work experience. So that's all lovely. But your recommendation section is basically where other people are vouching that you do have the qualifications and the experience that you have claimed that you have. And so these are people that you've worked with, maybe an old professor, an old boss, your current boss, whoever it may be, a colleague, a client. So you can go through your list of contacts and your connections and see who would be willing to write you a recommendation. And these need to be people who have worked with you. So those are the 6 elements for a successful LinkedIn profile. Before we wrap up, I want to share 2 bonus tips with you. You want to make sure on your LinkedIn profile that you have a banner. If you don't include your own banner, by default, you have the blue banner that comes with the LinkedIn profile that's very generic. Including your own personalized banner will allow people to get a good sense of who you are and what you do as soon as they click on your profile. And it does show up in the previews if anyone is scrolling through LinkedIn and comes across your profile. So it's a great way to help people know who you are and help them identify your brand by including a personalized banner. And the other tip is that you also want to personalize your LinkedIn profile URL. So that is the link that people would use to get to your LinkedIn profile. And that information you would put like on your resume. But by default, your LinkedIn URL is your name followed by a bunch of numbers. And it looks very unprofessional if you're putting it on your resume or elsewhere. So what you can do is you can personalize your LinkedIn profile URL. And I'm going to walk you through those steps now. Alrighty, so we're going to use my LinkedIn profile as an example here. Once you get on your profile, you're going to click Edit Public Profile and URL. This is going to take you to this page here, where in this section right on top here, you can see that it says Edit Your Custom URL. So mine is already personalized, but what you'll do to personalize yours is that you just click on this pencil here, and it's best to go with your first name dot your last name, something that allows people to find you easily and that's clean when you're going to put it on your resume or share your LinkedIn. So those were the 6 elements for a successful LinkedIn profile, and you got some additional tips as well. If you haven't yet hit that subscribe button, I encourage you to do so. And I share content on a weekly basis regarding career development, leadership, as well as LinkedIn optimization. So be sure to subscribe so you follow the content that I share. I'm all about empowering professionals, new leaders, emerging leaders, to help them boost their confidence and their visibility so that they land the opportunities that they deserve. So thanks for tuning in and take care.